Max Verstappen already has one hand on the 2023 Formula One World Championship trophy. Such has been his dominance in the first half of the season. His Red Bull team has emerged as an unbeatable force this year, securing 12 wins from 12 races and an unprecedented run of 13 consecutive victories, stretching back to Abu Dhabi last year. However, this is still a great F1 season. Why? Stay tuned to find out. This was meant to be the era for closer racing. In recent years, we have seen changes in the regulations, such as a tighter cost cap designed to restrict excessive spending by teams and a new sliding scale on wind tunnel allowances, aimed at limiting the development disparity between top and bottom teams. The intention was to promote more competitive racing by reducing the performance gaps between teams. However, despite these changes, many teams have continued to find ways to maximize the regulations to their advantage, as they have historically done. This has made overtaking difficult and has impacted the overall quality of racing. Red Bull's rivals have all faltered. Mercedes and Ferraris have had major personnel reshuffles and tried and failed technical concepts to try and chase Red Bull, and so far, little progress has been made. Red Bull is undoubtedly asserting its dominance this season. However, behind Red Bull, an intense battle is unfolding for the coveted best of the rest position. Aston Martin entered the season with a promisingly competitive second fastest car, yet their pace has gradually waned over recent races. Mercedes, while consistently in the mix for podium finishes, has encountered considerable difficulty in extracting significant performance improvements. Ferrari's performance has been characterized by a seesaw between flashes of brilliance and frustrating inconsistency. In the midst of these dynamics, McLaren's story has been nothing short of a dramatic resurgence. They have transformed from being a distant contender to emerging as Red Bull's most formidable adversary, particularly evident at circuits like Silverstone and Budapest. Let's imagine a unique scenario. What if we remove Verstappen and his teammate Perez from the championship standings? This fictional twist paints a thrilling picture. In this alternate reality, a seasoned veteran, Fernando Alonso, would rekindle his rivalry with the legendary Lewis Hamilton at the pinnacle of our fictional championship standings. This sets the stage for an epic duel that motorsport enthusiasts have long dreamed of. Meanwhile, Charles Leclerc, a mercurial force for Ferrari, remains a wildcard contender. Lando Norris would boast 2 triumphant victories in this altered championship narrative, perhaps even daring to dream of a late-season title surge. Now that we are at the season's midpoint, let's examine how the standings would appear if we exclude Red Bull from the equation. Fernando Alonso emerges as the frontrunner with an impressive tally of 230 points, closely pursued by the legendary Lewis Hamilton, who sits at 212 points. Charles Leclerc follows suit with a commendable 151 points, while George Russell gathers an impressive 143 points. Carlos Sainz maintains a 5th position with 139 points, while Lando Norris, who has staged an incredible comeback, garners attention with 107 points to his name. Further down the lineup, Lance Stroll has accumulated a respectable 83 points. Esteban Ocon has 61 points. The promising newcomer Oscar Piastri makes his mark with a noteworthy 53 points, hinting at a promising future ahead. Pierre Gasly has 46 points to his name in this hypothetical scenario. This new perspective offers a fresh look at the Constructors' Championship, where teams battle for glory without Red Bull dominance. Mercedes take the lead with 355 points. Aston Martin, known for its promising start, trails closely with 313 points. Ferrari has 290 points, while McLaren, the phoenix of the season, accumulates 160 points after overcoming a slow beginning. However, the spotlight falls on 2 figures, Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton. Alonso, now with Aston Martin, holds an 18-point lead in the fictional Drivers' Championship. His triumphant performances in Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Miami, Monaco, and Canada paint him as an early season frontrunner. However, as the races progress, his dominance wanes, allowing old rival Hamilton to narrow the gap with consistent second-place finishes before the summer break. This intriguing scenario rekindles memories of the intense rivalry between Alonso and Hamilton during their McLaren days in 2007, when their internal rowing allowed Kimi Raikkonen to snatch the title from both of them by a single point in the final round. Of course, the big difference this time would be that they are driving for 2 opposing teams. However, the 2-time world champion still finds himself in an against-the-odds title challenge against Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton showcases his championship prowess with consistent performances. With wins in Australia and Spain, he demonstrates his ability to extract the best from the car in challenging situations. The Mercedes car, known for excelling on specific tracks, often faces difficulties on other tracks. However, after the Monaco GP, the team's upgrades provide a glimmer of hope. Hamilton teammate George Russell would be without a win in 2023, with just 3 podiums from 12 races, but he would be well placed to act as a rear gunner for Hamilton in the second half of the year and a valuable source of consistent points in the Constructors' Championship for the team. Given Mercedes' trajectory since uncovering a new development direction in Monaco, if you had put money on who would win both championships between Alonso and Hamilton, you'd probably go with Hamilton and Mercedes. How about Ferrari? Being a Ferrari fan in the real-world 2023 Formula One season is a test of patience and devotion. However, in our imaginative scenario, the frustration would escalate to new heights. In this alternate universe, Charles Leclerc's triumphant moments in Baku, Austria, and Belgium would shine as evidence of the car's exceptional performance. Leclerc's tally of 3 wins, one more than Hamilton, would underline the car's prowess. Nevertheless, the dream season would be marred by reliability hiccups early on, coupled with Leclerc's mishaps in Australia and during Miami's qualifying, as well as team blunders in Canada. These setbacks would present an uphill battle for Ferrari in the latter half of the season. Carlos Sainz would have had a strong start to the season compared to Leclerc's. Sitting just 12 points adrift of his teammate, Sainz's consistent performance would pose a challenge to Ferrari's decision to fully support a single driver. With Lance Stroll facing challenges at Aston Martin, securing second place in the Constructors' title would be a feasible aim for Ferrari. However, a lingering feeling of unfulfilled potential would cast a shadow on yet another Ferrari campaign. Shifting our focus to McLaren, their hypothetical season would closely resemble reality, characterised by a remarkable resurgence that began in Austria. Both Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri would emerge as strong contenders for consistent podium finishes, mirroring the trends seen in the actual season. In this alternative scenario, Norris would secure 2 Grand Prix victories, cementing his prowess on the track. Meanwhile, Piastri's talent would shine as he secured his maiden Formula One victory during the sprint race in Belgium. Despite Norris trailing Alonso by a considerable 123 points, a glimmer of possibility would emerge. His potential as a game changer in the latter part of the season would materialise, especially considering the promising car performance at Silverstone and Budapest. Hope would flicker that upgrades in the second half could lead to a series of victories, placing Norris in contention for the title if Alonso and Hamilton faced setbacks. Shifting focus to the rest of the field, the removal of Red Bull from the first 12 races brings subtle rearrangements to the lower standings. Yuki Tsunoda's season gains prominence as his consistent finishes outside the points now translate to a noteworthy 19 points, securing him the 14th spot. Nick de Vries and Daniel Ricciardo, on the other hand, would still be seeking their first points, while Logan Sargent's 10th place finish in Bahrain and 9th place finish in Silverstone would finally get him on the scoreboard. Without Red Bull, this season might have undoubtedly been very competitive. Just imagine how much fun Formula One might have been this year if Verstappen and Red Bull had just taken the year off. And it would definitely have been more fun than the current Red Bull domination. The 2023 season would have been 4 winning teams and 4 winning drivers in the 12 races, with Alonso in a narrow championship lead. Anyone who knows F1 knows it's a sport of dominance, and to a degree, that's okay. That's the nature of the sport, but this Verstappen dominance hits differently. What are your thoughts on Max Verstappen's period of dominance so far? Additionally, if we remove the Red Bull team from the equation, which team and driver would clinch the Constructors and Drivers titles? Feel free to share your opinions in the comment section below. That will be all for today's video. Thanks for staying tuned. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell so that you can always get to watch more amazing videos like this. See you in the next video.